And welcome back, you guys. Great to just keep moving through this process with you. And I'm super excited for this specific training, the ultimate guide to never push snooze again. This training can honestly be a life-changing training experience. Defeating your snooze button can make so many changes in so many areas of life. I'm excited to get started with it. So grab a pen and paper, and if you haven't yet, go ahead and print out the PDF that comes with this training module. So first, why not to click the snooze button? Now, imagine we all have a list of reasons how not clicking snooze can help improve our life. Look in your PDF. but just some general reasons here. Science shows that the snooze button actually interrupts our sleep pattern. It actually is not good for our sleep routine. Our body has a natural way of going to bed and waking up. And when we click snooze, our body, where we start waking up and our body starts to go through its wake up process, and then we go back to sleep. And it can't really go back to a deep level of sleep or this. It's not quality sleep when you click snooze. And even though we think we're helping our body rest more, we're not. We're throwing off our sleep routine. Throws off our natural waking up process. When we wake up, our body naturally releases chemicals and starts this routine to get us up, and we interrupt it. Also, when we click snooze once, it often leads to clicking snooze more than once. I'm sure we've all done this before. I'm just going to click it one time, sleep for 5 more minutes, and then we click it 6 more times until the last minute. Okay, there's an easy way to prevent that from happening. Just don't click snooze at all. All right, you'll get up on your first alarm. Won't have to worry about clicking snooze all the way till the last minute. Also, if you click snooze, it's going to lead to having a rushed morning, right? If I click snooze and then I'm getting up at the last minute, then I'm rushed getting ready for the day. And then maybe I'm rushed on the way into work. I'm speeding down the highway, right? And it starts to affect the other areas of my day. Like we talked about on the first video, how we start our day is how affects how the rest of the day goes. So if we get up and we have a rushed morning, we're going to have a rushed day. Versus if we get up on our first alarm and we have a very productive, peaceful morning, it's more likely that throughout the day we can have a peaceful, productive rest of the day. Also, remember, when we're clicking snooze, we are sacrificing our goals. If your goal is to lose more weight, you could be sacrificing that goal because maybe instead of getting up in time to go run on your elliptical or to go on a walk or to pack a healthy lunch, if you click snooze and now you don't have time to do those exercises and you don't have time to pack the healthy lunch, so you get fast food, right? Now we're sacrificing those goals. Or if you're a salesman and you want to get up so you can train or read sales books or get to work early and prepare, you're sacrificing those goals. And you're also going to be sacrificing your natural energy. By clicking snooze, it interrupts our sleep patterns, and science and studies have showed that people who click snooze a bunch of times have less energy throughout the day than somebody who gets up on their first alarm. So we are sacrificing energy by clicking our snooze button. So here are the 9 steps to permanently defeating your snooze button and never pushing snooze again. All right, you're going to be a first alarm hero by the end of this. So for this to work, there's got to be 2 things. 1, you have to prepare the night before. Okay, as you're going to see, lots of these steps are things that you're going to do the night before to get ready for you to get up on your first alarm. Also, you have to prepare, but you have to make the decision before you go to bed. If you say I'll set an alarm at 6, but I'm also going to set an alarm at 6:15, 6:30, 6:35, and 6:45, just in case I want to sleep in, you're not going to win, right? If I'll set these alarms, but I'll see how I feel in the morning. No, that you're setting yourself up for success. You're literally preparing for failure, right? You need to make the decision before you go to bed. I'm going to set this alarm and I'm getting up on this alarm regardless of how I feel in the morning when I get up. So here are the 9 steps. Number 1, move your alarm clock. All right, put it somewhere else, not by your bed. You want to have it on the other side of your room so that you're forced to get up out of bed and go turn it off. Okay, if you need to have your phone by you when you sleep, maybe you need to set your alarm on your iPad or your digital clock. Get your digital clock out of your closet and put it on the other end of the room. Now, ideally, put it somewhere by a light source. It can be somewhere we can flip on a light or a window. We're going to touch more on this later. But ideally, you're going to be forced to get out of bed, walk over to the alarm clock, and it's right there. If you want, you can just open the windows and let light in, right? Start going through the morning process. Now, like lots of these steps, this has to be done the night before. So what I would recommend you do, you can pause the video or just do this right after you get off, but you can pause the video, go set up an alarm in your room for this right now. Okay, go get your iPad, go get, if you're not going to use your phone, go get your old alarm clock, put it over in the corner of the room so that you're forced to get out of bed and go turn it off. Second thing, prepare food and water. So when we wake up in the morning, if we start eating and drinking, it starts to wake our body up. It starts to get us in the motion of being awake and active. All right, one, we lose a lot of water while we sleep. We're sweating water out. We lose water. We need to rehydrate ourselves. So over by your alarm clock, wherever you put it, put some water. Set it up the night before. Also put some sort of small, easy snack, a granola bar, some cashews, some peanuts, ideally something healthy. So when you get up, you turn off your alarm. If you just turn off your alarm and then drink some water and eat something, you're going to realize instantly that you feel more awake. You're going to feel your body moving into the active mode. Okay, so put your alarm on the other side of the room and then put food and water there, something quick and easy that you can grab and start eating. Third thing, this might be one of my favorites, fuzzy socks. These can be a game changer for you. Now, lots of times when our alarm goes off in the morning, you force yourself to get out of bed to go turn off the alarm because it's on the other side of the room, and you're going to be tempted to get back in bed, not because you're tired, but because you're cold. Okay, we wake up in the morning and we go from being in a warm, cozy bed to being cold. We want to get right back in bed where it's warm. So we need to prepare for that. On wherever you put your alarm in the corner of the room, set out some warm clothes, some fuzzy socks, some of those comfy fleece pajama pants you get for Christmas, right? A hoodie, something that's really quick and easy to slip on where you'll feel warm. Okay, because if we don't overcome the warm, I had this big giant robe. It's actually it was a costume. It was this Star Wars robe, this big robe. I put it on in the morning. Get up, instead of being cold and going back to bed, put on my robe. Now I'm ready. Okay, set yourself up for success. All right, also, okay, so those things you're going to prepare the night before. Put your alarm on the other side of the room. You're going to put snacks there. You're going to have warm clothes. So you get up. The other thing is you're going to want to turn on the light. So after you do those things, you need to turn on the light. You need to wake yourself up. If you can open a window, when your body sees the natural blue light from the sky, it actually releases chemicals in your mind or in your brain that gives you energy. Okay, there's a natural way your body goes through this in the morning. Now, if you don't have a window, or I'm here in Ohio and right now it's winter, so it's dark when I wake up in the morning. Turn on a light. It's better than nothing. Turn on a light to light up the room, wake yourself up. All right, other things you can put there that's going to help, that you need to put there to help. Affirmations or visual reminders of the goals that you're working towards. Okay, is sleeping for 5 more minutes, is getting one more button of snooze, is that more important to you than your goals? Okay, create a reminder. Maybe it's an affirmation. It can be something simple like, I am disciplined. It can be a picture of your goal. Maybe you want this car. Maybe you want a certain income level. Maybe you want a certain house. Maybe you want a certain job position. Print out a picture and put it there by your alarm. Set it as the background on your iPad or whatever you're using for your alarm. So when you get up, you're reminded, is this goal more important to me than clicking snooze? Maybe it's another visual reminder. Maybe you're working to lose weight and you have a pair of jeans that you really want to fit into. Lay those out. Put them right there by the alarm clock. When you get up in the morning and you see that alarm, you're going to be reminded, hey, is me being able to lose this weight and fit in these jeans, is this more important than clicking snooze? Because remember, when we click snooze, if you click snooze, you're sacrificing your goals, right? You're not going to have the time Potentially, you won't have the time to do the workouts that you want, or you won't have the time to get ready for the day. To maybe you need the time to fill out your goal crazy planner so you can hold yourself accountable and create a plan to work towards your goals, right? So put some sort of reminder, affirmations, pictures of the goals, something that's going to remind you what you're working towards. There's some apps that can help. There's tons of apps out there. Here's 6 of my favorites. Walk Me Up. The alarm goes off on your phone and it won't turn off until you take so many steps. All right, it can tell how many steps you're taking. It won't turn off until you take so many steps. Alarmy. Alarmy has a bunch of different apps in there, or ways you can set the alarm, but one of them is you have to go take a picture of something in your apartment. You might have set it to, you have to go take a picture of your bathroom sink. You have to go take a picture of a cereal box. Sleep cycle. This one is really neat. This will tie up with a smart device, or it can be your Apple Watch, and it'll monitor your sleep cycle as you're sleeping, and you'll give it a range that you want to wake up. Maybe you say, I want to wake up between 5:30 and 6, and it'll optimize based off your sleep cycle what time within that range it'll start waking you up. So that's a really neat one. Barcode alarms, similar to Alarmy, you have to go scan a barcode of something. Maybe you have to go scan a barcode of a cereal box, the butter. You set it to something that you have that'll force you to get out of bed. Math alarm. This one, it gives you a series of math problems that you have to do that progressively get harder, that you have to solve to turn off the alarm. So that way it forces you to start thinking, right? It wakes up your mind. It makes you go do something. Because if you get up and you have to take steps around your house, or go downstairs and go open the fridge up and scan the ketchup bottle with your barcode alarm, now you're up. Now you're ready to start going through your day. Also, this is a very simple, easy thing that is super helpful. Use a gentler sound on your alarm clock. Lots of times our alarm goes off in the morning and it's like this, it sounds like a siren. It sounds like one of those boat sirens. And it's just such a painful sound that without even thinking about it, we want to turn it off as quickly as we can. Right? We're not even aware of what we're doing. It's just we hear this painful sound. We want to go turn it off. Okay? So then we turn it off before we're fully awake and thinking about what we're doing. If you choose a gentler sound, my alarm is Viva La Vida by Coldplay, and it wakes me up. It's a gentler wake up. When I get up, and it's not like I'm just turning the alarm off because it's painful and I'm in pain. It's like, oh yeah, I'm awake, you get up. It's a gentler wake up to the day. Okay, so this strategy, this is one that I only want you to do if you're somebody who just has been trying to get over your alarm and you just can't beat your snooze button. You just can't do it. This is the strategy that I only want you to do if you're at that point. You've tried, you feel like you've tried everything. You just can't get up on your first alarm. This is what I want to do to prove to you that you can. I want you to set one alarm for the very last minute. And you know what that is, right? It's like if you got to leave for work at 7:26 to make it to work on time, you know that the very last minute you can get up is 7:09. As long as you're up by then, you'll be able to be ready and leave in time. Set the alarm for 7:09. Set it for the very last minute. Now, this isn't like long-term strategy. This is just to help force you to prove to yourself you can get up on your first alarm. When it goes off at the very last minute, you're going to get up and you're going to be forced that you have to stay up. You won't even be able to go back to bed. So you're going to be forced to go through your morning routine. Once you do that once, you can start to realize this is something you can do and you can get in control of it. And instead of getting up at the last minute, now you can start making it earlier and earlier so you can have time to put other things in your morning routine. But if you're going to bed setting 10 alarms, you're setting yourself up for failure, right? If you set it for the last minute, you're going to have to get up at the last minute. Once you get in the routine of getting up on your first alarm, maybe do this 1 or 2 days in a row and you're like, okay, I can do this. Now move it from, 7:09 or whatever the last minute is to maybe move it to 6:40. Don't do crazy big jumps, but move it up some so you can start getting up on your first alarm and have time for a morning routine. Now, this is super important and very underrated. You need to get more sleep. If you are struggling to get up on your first alarm because you're only sleeping for 4 hours, no strategy is going to help you overcome the feeling of fog and sleepiness when you wake up in the morning because you're sleep deprived. right? These strategies, they'll force you to get up, but you need more sleep. Okay, sleep is something that's important. I get 8 hours of sleep every night, sometimes more, sometimes 8.5 hours of sleep. Sleep is important. Sleep is a high payoff thing. It's healthy. It's important. Sleep will help you perform better. There's studies and studies and studies and studies that show that sleep is an important thing. It's one of our bodily needs, right? It'll help you have a better attitude. It'll help you make better decisions. It'll help you have more energy. There's lots of studies that show how it will help you be more productive, to be able to sleep more. Okay, if decisions take you a long time to make, if you're being distracted easily, dozing off, if you're, not having the energy to get things done quickly, you're being less efficient than you would be if you would have slept more. You could have been more productive and still had more free time. So lots of studies. If you're interested in them, I'm happy to send them to you. But get more sleep. Your body needs sleep. All right, so just a couple things to remember as you're getting started with this. Just like any other habit, this will be difficult at first. If you've been in the habit of pushing snooze for the past 10 years, when you get up, it's going to be difficult. It's going to feel uncomfortable. Your body has the habit of pushing snooze, right? If you try to break any habit, if you're right-handed and you go brush your teeth with your left hand, it feels weird. It's like something's not right. You want to go back to your right hand, right? The same way is going to be true when you first wake up, and if your body's in the habit of going and pushing snooze and going right back to sleep, it's going to be difficult at first, but every time you do it, it's going to be easier. The main thing is be aware that when you get up in the morning, it's going to be difficult. So do all of these things to prepare for that. If you do these things and prepare for that, it's going to be easier. The first time it's going to be pretty hard. The second time it's going to be, it's going to be hard. The next time it's going to be a little less hard. And every time it's just going to get easier and easier until every morning, then it turns into, that's when you get up. First alarm goes off, you get up and you turn it off and you go throughout your day. Every morning it'll be easier. Another really good thing is don't get back in bed. I've made this a rule to myself. When my first alarm goes off, I get out of bed, I fix it, and I don't get back in bed. Even if I get up, if maybe I have to get up abnormally early for a meeting in the morning, and I get up super early and then I learn that the meeting was canceled, instead of getting back in bed and breaking the rule, if I need to get more sleep, I'll go sleep on the couch. Now, you might think I'm crazy for doing that, but look, when I get out of bed, I don't get back in bed. When you get out of bed, I get out of bed, turn off the alarm, I fix the bed, now I'm done. Okay, well, I have all my other little, get your fuzzy socks. But make a commitment once you get out of bed not to get back in. Also, I want you to celebrate in the Facebook group. We want to celebrate with you. When you get up, if you're somebody who's been pushing snooze for years and years, and then you have a morning where you don't push snooze, I want to celebrate that with you. When you do it, I want you to comment in the Facebook group. Go ahead and make a post. Defeated my alarm. Crushed my alarm today. First alarm today. Something so that we can celebrate with you. Now, another thing I want you to remember is, as we talked about on the earlier trainings, the dominoes, right? We talked about these dominoes of kind of like when you were a kid, you line up the dominoes and you click one and they all tip over. What's going to be your first domino? When you wake up in the morning, what's going to be the first thing after you turn off your alarm? You have to pick one of these things that's going to be first. After you turn off that alarm, what's going to be the first domino that for you starts the rest? Is it, hey, I'm going to get dressed. I'm going to put on my fuzzy socks. Is it I'm going to turn on the light? Am I going to, eat some cashews, drink my water? Whatever it is, choose your first domino. When that alarm goes off in the morning, you get out of bed, you turn it off. What's the first thing that you're going to do that's going to start all the rest of the dominoes? Make that decision before you go to bed. What's going to be the first one of these things? Because you want to get up and be able to do this on autopilot. You want to be able to wake up, hey, I drink my water, I eat my cashews, fix the bed. Boom. Now I'm starting to get in the routine and I'm moving, I'm awake. All right? So you guys, can't wait for you to get started on getting up on your first alarm, and I'm super excited to see your comments in the Facebook groups that I can celebrate with you. If there's anything I can do to help, reach out. Otherwise, keep up the great work. Let's go crazy.